All right, first with the general, we have the Ace of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. I think there's a possibility here that this may be a very emotional month for you, which not the greatest way to start, but you know, hopefully it's just emotions coming out and making way for positivity. We'll see what the clarifiers say. I'm gonna use a Smith Centennial for the clarifiers. Now, some of you might be emotional because you were betrayed by a friend, a lover, or just this female Queen of Cups. Maybe you don't trust them for a particular reason. Again, this could be your energy as well. You know, if this is your energy, this just adds to this over emotions that are bubbling up within and may potentially come out in one way, shape, or form. And it could be, again, because maybe someone backstabbed you, or someone got away with something, or you're unable to trust people or anyone whatsoever, and there's a side that might feel a little bit alone. Not necessarily lonely, but like you don't know who to trust, and it's making you quite emotional. In terms of love, you know, we've got the Five of Cups, which is a card of disappointment, one of my least favorite cup cards. And yes, there's normally two cups back there, but this guy clearly is focused on the ones that have dropped, and is, in some ways, he's devastated and highly upset over the fact that something was lost, and this person does not know how to recover the situation. There's regret here, and there's a lot of sadness. I don't like it. It could be due to this female. This could be you because you are a fire sign. Now, I always say in my videos, just because this is a fire sign does not mean it's you. You could be dealing with someone else who's a fire sign, or you could be dealing with someone else who is this personality. Perhaps this person is incredibly jealous, controlling, manipulative. I'm seeing the Queen of Rods in a bit of a negative light. If it's your personality for the moment, then it's just representing the fact that you're the one who is just feeling a lot of sadness when it comes to love. Perhaps in the dating scene, if you're not seeing anyone, there's just no one that strikes an interest whatsoever, and maybe you've been at it for a while, and it's, you know, becoming depressing being unable to connect with anyone. If you're in a relationship, there's a possibility that something in your relationship didn't quite turn out as planned, and you're upset over a situation, and again, dissatisfied with the Five of Cups there. The Four of Wands, I just believe it points to your dating life or your romantic situation. I feel like there might have been an event, or an event, or maybe something that tied to a home or apartment that led to this emotional states. Maybe you had expectations. You were going to move in with someone that didn't quite pan out. The other person backed out. Or you expected a proposal, didn't quite happen with the Four of Wands here. Maybe you were relying on your partner to come with you in some event, meet family, something like that. And again, that event did not happen according to plan or expectations, and you are not a happy person for the moment. The outcome cards are definitely not my favorite. Again, I apologize. But we have the Nine of Swords and we have the Five of Swords. There's a lot of energy, again, surrounding mistrust and deception for the month of January, and these are the outcome cards. Outcome cards usually are throughout the month till the end, and this is the overall vibe. So something about a situation might leave you feeling incredibly stuck. I mean, his hands are bound, trapped. There's a lot of mental anxiety and stress in the Nine of Swords. There's things that are keeping you up. And anxieties, as I've said, that's coming up. I do feel like a lot of this emotions are part of the reason that you feel this stress as well. And maybe on some level, again, you're hiding or trying to mask it yourself, and it's not working out to be a positive thing for you. Okay. Can you clarify the Seven of Swords? Actually, let me... Seven. I feel like you, again, were waiting for something to happen, possibly waiting for some news or for someone to contact and reach out to you to hear something, and you did not hear what you expected. Maybe you heard the complete opposite, and that was like a slap in the face. Others of you are waiting for a person to arrive. They didn't come, or they decided to, again, go ghost. And others of you, I feel like, are simply waiting. And it feels like you have a lack of trust as to if this thing will ever show up, because maybe you felt like you've been waiting too long. And the key phrase for me is waiting to hear something. Some of you may have heard, again, like words or commentary through the grapevines that was unfavorable, and you're trying to keep your emotions in check. Queen of Cups. We have a new opportunity here that's associated with the Queen of Cups. Maybe you've expected to, maybe this is not you and this is another person who you anticipated receiving an opportunity from, most likely job related, doesn't have to be, and they ended up not giving it to you or not coming through, yeah, it's like it was a false promise potentially from this Queen of Cups that involved a new opportunity or job. Or even money. If they owed you money, they just like, yeah, I'm going to give it to you. No, they're not. Definitely has to do with receiving money here. There's fairness and balance. Someone giving back what they took. And I'm guessing that with the Seven of Swords next to it, that person did not go through with the transaction on their end. So, all right, Five of Cups. Okay. All right, maybe you were expecting to go on a trip, hear from someone who was at a distance or something like that, but there's some sort of disappointment surrounding a journey. Either someone, again, didn't make it, didn't come through, or a trip did not go as planned. Perhaps when it comes to love, you were anticipating, again, that you figured that the troubled times were over, things were smooth sailing, and it didn't quite, again, pan out. It's still a bit rocky. Yeah, and you've got anxiety here. You're not sure. You feel bound. You're not sure where to turn. You feel like you're stuck, but you're really not. Queen of Rods. That's interesting. With the Queen of Rods, I'm getting someone who is very involved in their work, or possibly just incredibly preoccupied when it comes to their lives, that the time for romance just isn't there. Maybe that's you who's been preoccupied with something else, haven't been able to give the time to romance. Maybe that's what's upsetting you. Maybe you had anticipated taking some alone time with a partner or being able to just meet people, and it just hasn't panned out because the time isn't there. Four of Wands. Well, there is a male figure here, the King of Swords, and I remember when I picked up the deck, he was at the bottom. That could definitely be a male that you're involved with, you've met, currently in a relationship with, and again, right now it might feel a little bit rocky that you don't have quite enough time for each other. But maybe on some level, this guy, again, he comes on strong out of nowhere, but then his true personality shows as the King of Swords, and he goes like ice cold and becomes unavailable again, I feel. All right. Why are you so stressed over here with the Nine of Swords? We got the Queen of Cups again. So either you're stressed in regards to this female, and for whatever reason, maybe because, again, they owe you some money or they owe you something and they haven't come through, or that, again, that's tying back to you being overly emotional this month, or just having a lot of emotions, I should say. That sounds better. Seven of Swords. I feel like you think that something that you care about a lot has either already been taken from you, well, within January, or you're afraid of something being taken from you that relates to family, love, emotions, something that you're emotionally connected to. You feel like someone might steal. Yeah, you're very cautious about someone stealing it. All right. Silver lining. Let's get a silver lining here. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's not the silver lining I asked for. All right. So anxiety might be a thing this month. My recommendation, and this is what I do for myself because I can sometimes fall into a trap of being overly anxious. Just take that. It sounds like simple and stupid, but take the moment to breathe, to stare at the wall, like find something to stare at, take a few deep breaths, and until you like feel the anxiety kind of slip away, even if it's for a moment, I would just say do it periodically throughout the day. And sometimes I even envision like the whole white light thing covering me just to kind of like soothe any of this energy, because it feels like this is going to be dominating for the month and you don't want that energy. It doesn't do you any favors. It's just like a mental trap, and it's there twice, so with the Nine of Swords, so something to be cautious about. I'm going to get one oracle for love. That's interesting. We have commitment. So it could be when it comes to the love life, it's centered on people already in relationships. But if you're single, it could be that you're so disappointed with a potential partner or someone that you've met, like that King of Swords, and you really want a commitment, but something isn't quite panning through. All right, let's get a general oracle. And some of you might be anxious about commitment, just in general. All right, too many. All right, it's pretty comical. I like this. The imagery is kind of dark. I'm looking at the word regeneration, and I think this supports, January might start a little tough. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So it might feel like you're getting burnt a bit from the inside. However, what's happening is the tree is still growing, it's regenerating itself, it's healing, and it's coming back. And usually when it comes back, it's stronger. And you are a fire sign. Fire signs tend to be the, I admire fire signs, let's just put it that way. Anyway, the tree it's growing again, you got light coming in, and there is positivity there. It just might take a little bit to get there, and then you come out stronger, and it'll be one of those experiences that you're maybe even thankful going through for the sake of coming out wiser. So it's something to keep in mind. And I just want to see what the book has for the keywords, because I've said in my other videos I don't actually read the book for oracle cards. I kind of just go with. Yeah, so keywords, I'm just going to read them to you, is rebirth, second chances, and new opportunities. So those opportunities are there, or they will be there. The universe likes to be annoying sometimes and make things a little bit difficult to get there, but they will be there. It'll just take some time, push through this and that other energy, and then you'll be fine after the fact. And hopefully come February, it'll be happy cards. Yes. Two of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. You are focused on the money, on work. You might have a lot of responsibilities. You're juggling. You're definitely working hard with the Eight of Pentacles here, and you're focused and determined. You might be juggling multiple jobs, or this is simply, budgeting your finances, because money can be a struggle. I only see that sometimes with the Two of Pentacles, because you're like deciding where to put money towards, or trying to, again, figure out your finances. So that usually points towards maybe there might be a little bit of difficulty where money is concerned, but not too much, I would say. I mean, you're working hard here. You just might have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of juggling of jobs yourself with the Two of Pentacles. And with the Six of Pentacles, again, this makes me think about, where do I put my money? You know, where do I take out? What do I buy this week? So I feel it's very focused on buying, saving, and all that stuff there. All right, so with the other cards, the overall, we have the Nine of Swords and the Two of Wands. I feel like with the Two of Wands, you have a direction in mind. You know where you want to go, but you're not quite sure how to get there. And that's where the Nine of Swords comes into play. You're quite stressed and uncertain about this path or direction that you're choosing or you want to choose, because you just don't know how to get there at this time. You might be in a planning stage, and right now it's not working out in the sense that you can't really figure out a plan, for instance, to get to a particular stage, to take some sort of action. Your focus might be a little bit mixed as well because you're so busy. Definitely doing a lot of thinking with the Hermit there, and I don't think it's the good thoughts. I think you're stressing quite a lot. You're not really sharing your feelings or your fears with anyone else, I believe, with the Hermit. So you're kind of doing this in the dark in a corner. You probably can't sleep as well with the Hermit there. With the Fool, I think part of the fears is this inability, or you might be afraid of the risks involved. You might be excited and ready to start some form of new chapter, and that's why this direction appeals to you so much. But at the same time, you're really afraid of taking the steps forward in order to begin a new journey, for instance. All right, we had these two that kind of slid out of my hands. More Pentacles cards. The Six of Pentacles is here twice now. So giving and receiving, balance of money is probably going to be the main focus overall for the week. It might affect your emotional state. I feel like that ties back to the stress that, again, you're stressing about finances for the week. I know that's not like the greatest for the first week of January, but life is life. Two of Pentacles. What are you juggling? Ace of Cups. Okay. You know, I just had a thought. This could also be a balance between the work life and the romantic life. And it's maybe not quite working out. Maybe you're spending more time on one than the other, and you don't want to do that. You want to have more of a balance. Of course, as well, all the juggling that you're doing could impact your emotions and you're having trouble dealing with it. But it's not extreme. It's not like Ten of Swords here or anything like that. With the Six of Pentacles, I feel like there's planning, saving that's happening in regards to a trip. Perhaps you want to go somewhere, just leave the troubles behind for a bit. You haven't made the decision yet. It's not final. You're trying to figure out exactly how you're going to pay for it. That's what I feel with the Six of Pentacles. With the Hierophant here, I feel like this is working for the man. I feel like you don't want to do that anymore, but you're working hard, you're being diligent, and in some ways you almost want to break away from it. And that's what this is about. It's like you're saving until you could just get the hell out and leave, even if it's only temporary.